Hello, this is Heather Hodlin, and I'm going to be explaining writing methods using a turtle. So let's begin in our turtle.java file. As you can see in the commented section on line 162, it states we're going to be drawing a block, capital letter H, with a given height and width. To begin with our method header, we have public forward draw letter H, int height, int width. This states it is set to public, void meaning that this method will not return anything. Draw letter H is our method name. Int height and int width states that both of our parameters are going to be integers. To begin, I start with this.forward height. I use the word this here instead of a specific turtle name because this is a turtle method that I am writing, draw letter H, to later call on turtles. But I have to use the word this as this is going to be a general formula for later to use. I put the word height here as I enter one of our parameters. As you can see, 2 lines below, I use the word width. That's why we need 2 different parameters in our in our method header. I used turn right, forward, turn left as some common methods within my draw letter H method. As you can see on line 169 though, I do not use just height or width as my parameter. I use the equation height minus width divided by 2. This is stating that the solution to this mathematical equation is the parameter that I need to enter here. I use that a few different times in this method. Now let's go over here to my testing file. As you can see, I start with my commented header being the file name, my name, and so on. Then we have our import statements and our header statements. To begin, I create a world W with the specific parameters 600, 800 as its dimensions. I'm going to be creating quite a few turtles here, so let me explain to you the naming I used. We're going to have TW turtles, and those are going to be having varying widths, hence the W in their name. As you can see in the entered parameters here, because the Y parameter is the same, they're going to be in a line. Next, we have our TH turtles. These are going to have a varying height, hence the H in their name. You can see that these 4 turtles are going to make another line. And then lastly, we have our T turtles. These are going to have a varying height and width. I didn't want to put H and W in there just because there's going to be too many letters. And as you can see, again, in these parameters, being that the Y is the same, they're going to be in another line. So I structured all 12 of these turtles to be in a grid format. As you can see in this commented section, as previously defined in our draw letter H method, our X parameter is going to be the height and our Y parameter is going to be the width. Now let's begin with our width varying turtles. I'm going to call all 4 of them. I'm going to call them and use the method draw letter H. And in the parameters, as you can see, the X or the height is 100 for all 4 turtles, being that it's staying the same, but the Y or the width is going to vary. In the next section, you see the TH turtles, the ones that will be varying the height. I call the method draw letter H. I give them all different X values or height, but give them all the same Y or width value. And lastly, we have the T turtles that vary the height and the width. I call the method draw letter H for all 4 of them, and then I enter different parameters. Here, I made sure that the ratios of the height to the width of these turtles does not match any of our previous turtles, just so we can see new shapes. So from here, let's go compile, and then let's run it to see our turtles. You can see they're all in that grid format. We have the top line being our width varying turtles, as you can tell, the first one being very thick, the last one being very thin. Next, we have our height varying turtles, as you can tell. But if you look at our last turtle on this line, it doesn't even draw the letter H. Here we have a rectangle, and this is because our X and Y, or our height and width, were exactly the same number. On our final line, we have the turtles that varied their height and width. If you notice, the second turtle makes more of a cross or a plus sign and not an H. And this was because the width was larger than our height here. So by showing all 12 of these turtles using different parameters, you can see that when drawing the letter H with my method, the parameters entered matter. Varying these parameters matter. And the ratio between these two parameters very much so matters. Thank you.